Looking for wind.
Yeah. Dubbed by many as the most picturesque of all the regattas on the Asian sailing circuit, the Phang Nga Bay Regatta sets itself apart from other yacht races in the area. With the focus being relaxed, fun and friendly sailing, the 4 days of racing leads you through the bewitching beauty of the world-famous Phang Nga Bay, with a different stopover each night to drop anchor and call home. We're underway on the first day of the Phang Nga Bay Regatta. We've come out of Ao Po, we're heading up to Koh Hong, and the scenery is just stunning. Despite the fickle light winds which toy with the sailors throughout the regatta, it is becoming increasingly popular each year as ever more boats are lured to the bay, enchanted by the scenic courses and friendly parties.
And I really do hope that everybody here is so happy. You see, they are in one of the most beautiful places in the world. I hope they do understand.
This year welcomed the 12th Phang Nga Bay Regatta, which was first conceived to create sailing courses which intertwined with the dramatic seascapes of the area, allowing the photographic splendor to be captured on film. So John, the 12th Phang Nga Bay Regatta, you must be quite pleased with how things have progressed over the years.
Well, I guess 12 years ago we were never quite sure we'd get one regatta done, let alone 2 or 3 or where it would go. But I mean, it's actually pretty amazing. I mean, it was actually just at the top point up here where I got the inspiration about doing the regatta and doing it up here. I mean, now with 50 boats, and this actually makes this the second biggest regatta in Asia, which is quite amazing. So,
yeah,
very surprising to us too. So, yeah.
And the atmosphere of this regatta is quite different from some of the other ones in the area.
The atmosphere fits the environment. Everything is, we're out here to enjoy, to relax, to be in a beautiful place, etc. We're trying to leave aggravation behind. We don't want people thinking just about winning the regatta and getting into fights and protests, etc. So as we say, there's very few protests, and we don't even have a jury here. So it's all very, very casual. But just the number of people coming here shows that that's what people want. We've hardly publicised a regatta, whereas other regattas around the region, they do everything they can to get boats to come. We don't do very much, but people just keep coming. They just keep coming. And if you want to know the reason why, you just look out there. How beautiful is the sailing around here. So people want to come here for this fantastic environment. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, we even have quite a few people that have come all the way from Darwin just to join in.
I believe there's 8 or 9 boats from people who've come from Darwin, chartered boats from Sunsail, just specifically come into this regatta. So the name is getting around a lot of places. Australia's a big sailing place, so when you get people coming from a place like Australia, coming here to Phang Nga Bay to sail, we know we're doing something right.
Yeah. Leg 1 of the 4 days racing took the boats from Ao Po Grand Marina towards a secluded anchorage in the top of Phang Nga Bay. The good winds in the morning suddenly dropped off as the boats made their way north, allowing the early leaders to pull away while much of the fleet was called to a halt and forced to wait for the breeze to set in. Despite the delay, however, all made it across the finish line with plenty of time to relax before the long-tail boats arrived to ferry everybody over to Lem Sak Seafood Restaurant in Chong Lat. After a more than pleasant night's sleep aboard the yachts, everybody was up early next morning to head out to the start line for leg 2. And after a good cup of tea to wake us all up, we joined the crew of Simone and the skipper Roger for the day's race down to Koh Yao Noi.
Oh,
so far so good. This is probably my 8th Phang Nga Bay Regatta, and you know, they just keep getting better. Apart from the wind today, of course. But you know, it's a real après regatta, good parties and good people.
Well, it may not have been the fastest race, with the winds rolling lazily back and forth around the bay, but as the airs lightened in spirit, they filled with suspense, as the patience and skill of all aboard was gently tested. The strong currents played heavily in the day's racing, with many boats having to drop anchor while they sat in holes waiting for the wind to pick up again. The result was many a thirsty sailor arriving at Koh Yao Noi for the night's party, which was favourably sponsored by Kingfisher Beer.
As usual, no wind today, but plenty of fire tonight.
Despite the prayers to the four winds in the early morning, the third leg of the regatta once again resulted in a tricky start. Downwind in incredibly light airs and with strong tides against us all. However, the spirits of the sunsail boat Bintang and her crew from Darwin, Australia were not to be dampened, enjoying every moment of their sailing through the bay.
We've spent the first week sailing around and snorkeling and going through all the hungs, and that was brilliant. And then I really enjoyed the sailing through the races as well. It's been great fun.
I think we're through the start line.
Hey.
It's one of the pleasures of it. For people who don't do a lot of sailing, it's pretty flat. There's no big ocean swell, so it's it's comfortable sailing, even if it's not terribly fast.
The changeable winds throughout the first 3 days of racing meant that the final prizes were still up for grabs. And as the evening's entertainment wore on, thoughts returned to the final leg, which would take the fleet back home to Phuket and determine who would pick up a prize. Well, it's an early start this morning. All the boats are heading out of Riley Beach up to the start line. It's a long haul back to Phuket, but we have it on reliable authority that there will be some wind today. So hopefully we'll all get back to Phuket in time for the party tonight. The winds delivered on the last leg of the regatta with a long upwind run with plenty enough gust to carry the fleet home. And despite the light airs so typical of the Phang Nga Bay Regatta, a good time was had by all, promising further success next year for Thailand's most scenic and sociable regatta.